how you doing? Oh, let me get this straight over here. Let's play some music and get into the show. Wow. Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. Yo, what up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. We're good. Make sure I can get my comments over here. Looks good. Make sure my volume's down. It's down. All right, guys. Bring the mic up a little bit. I hope you can hear me fine. You know what I mean? Hope everything's crisp and clear. Okay, I had to up my volume on my microphone. My man alerted me to that. One of my guys in the Wolf Pack, Tim Black's Wolf Pack, told me, he said, Tim, bring that mic volume up. And, wow, guys. What's going on? Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. I'm your host, Tim Black, where we talk about things most mainstream news channels will not talk about. And if they do talk about the same subject matter, believe me, they do so a lot more delicately than I will. I'm just going to call it like I see it. That's the power of this show. We don't have to be scared because we ain't scared, right? We can call it like it is. I just want to make sure I don't end up wearing my coffee. And I've been feeling the bug kind of trying to come on. I got enough coffee in there. I got condensed. It's like an espresso, a cup of espresso with like 3 cups of coffee. That's a shot, boy. Woo! Yeah. That's this stuff is strong. It is strong all day long. All right. All right, guys. All right, so look, tonight's topic, I want to welcome everybody from Blog Talk Radio, Stitcher Radio, iTunes Land, and Meerkat. And of course my Wolfpack people. Where my Wolfpack people at? What is going on, Wolfpack? All right, I see people watching. They coming in. All right, guys. The topic of tonight's show is Chicago. Chicago. I don't even know how that song goes. I don't think it matters how the song goes because we know how the story goes, don't we? Corruption. What's your function? Shooting innocent civilians in the ass. Corruption. What's your function? I ain't gonna try to sing that. I'm serious, guys. I've been looking at Chicago from afar, and I plan on staying very far away. I'm looking at Chicago, and I'm gonna tell you, there are a couple journalists that I've added to my list. If you got me on Twitter, it would behoove you. Follow me on Twitter at Tim Bartender. One of the last holdovers of my Tim the Bartender name, right? Is I built up a little following on Twitter, and I don't want to lose my name, but find me on Twitter at Tim Bartender. I have a list of journalists that I've vetted, that I've looked at closely. I looked at their stuff, and I believe their work, and I believe their honesty. One of those journalists goes by the name of John Cass. Well, he didn't go by that name. Hopefully that's the name that he was born with or the one that he decided to take. Honorable, right? Calls it like he sees it. Now, I don't know everyone's political affiliation, nor do I care, but I know that John Cass covers Chicago. He works for the Chicago Tribune. And I believe he calls it like he sees it. And I believe the facts are what have been laid out. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me flip this over. You may know, you may be hearing about Chicago a lot lately because of the shootings that go on in the streets of Chicago about the crime violence, gun violence in Chicago, right? That's the reason why most people hear of Chicago, or at least become acquainted with Chicago. But let me tell you, make no mistake about it, Chicago has been in and out of drama since, I don't know, the 40s? lest we not forget, Chicago is the home of Al Capone. I remember when Obama was running for office and people talked about if you can survive in Chicago, you can survive anywhere. And you thought that was a phrase meant for people who lived in New York City. No, it's for Chicago as well. Chicago, it's got a lot of corruption going on in Chicago. And I'm not just saying that from just jokes and, movies. I'm saying that just based on some of the stuff I've been reading. Listen to this number, guys, and we're going to come back to it, but I want to make sure you understand tonight's show is not just surface making big of one or two cases. All right? Let's clear that out the way right now so that you know. Chicago, Meerkat people, Chicago has paid out over the last 10 years $521 million to families of its citizens. Y'all hear me, YouTube? Y'all hear me, Meerkat? iTunes, Stitcher. You guys hear what I'm talking about? If I paid somebody $500, I'd be hurting. If I had to pay somebody $5,000, I'd be livid. I'd be thinking about options of them falling down escalator steps. If I had to pay someone $50,000, I'd be looking at a bottle of Xanax, like maybe me and you need to go on a vacation. $521 million paid out. Let me explain to you what a payout is. Similar to the payout to Laquan McDonald, typically when cities pay money out, it's to avoid guilt. It's to avoid having to be called guilty for something that was done that was unlawful, or at the very, very, very least, very, very unprofessional. Now, I know you hear the number $521 million. You go, well, I don't know if you think that's a lot or not. Let me give a little context to it for you. All right? Make sure I'm starting with the right one. I can print out so many documents. I want to give you context for that $521 million mark, just so it makes more sense to you. That's what I thought. I got pages flipped here. Let's see. Make sure we're going in the right order. Yeah. Okay, I guess this is right. I don't have the page numbers. Check this out. Just so you understand. Cleveland, since between the years of 2004 to 2014, Cleveland, Ohio, which has a lot of its own issues, they paid a whopping $8.2 million to families. 8.2, okay? Compare 8.2 to 521 million. You getting where I'm going now? Okay, Dallas, 6.6 million between the years of 2011 and 2014. That's only 3 years. Denver, 2011, 12 million. Philadelphia, 40 million between 2009 and 2014. Boston, 36 million. Chicago, we already did that one. Oh, that's the 521. That's the big hitter. Los Angeles, 101 million between 2002 and 2011. New York City, 348 million between 2006 and 2011. Minneapolis, 9.3 million between 2011 and 2014. And Oakland, 74 million between 1990 and 2014. Oakland's doing pretty good. So I just want to try to make people understand what we're talking about when we talk about corruption, when we talk about systematic problems. And see, what they're trying to do in Chicago is they want to give us the perception that they got a couple bad apples. We got more than a couple bad apples when we're paying out $521 million in the last decade alone. That's a lot of bad apples. You could buy a forest. Forget the apples. You can go buy private security of the highest level. And see, this is an idea I floated recently in a video when I said, maybe we should consider paying officers more money, right? Pay good officers more money and get rid of the bad ones. Get rid of the police union. Get rid of that shit. Pay officers more money, right? Pay officers another 50 grand. I mean, really make officers' pay increase dramatically. Pay the hell out of them. I'm serious. I know a lot of people are not going to understand what I'm saying. Look, you know what? Here we go. I want the starting salary for a police officer to be $100,000 a year. But I want less cops and I want better cops. I want bad cops gone immediately. I want bonuses written for customer service. Oh, come on, guys. When you attach pay to performance, you get better performance. I want customer service. I want reports from the public to resonate or to manifest itself on your paycheck. I want a performance-based structure for cops. Is what I'm saying crazy? I've heard no one say this, by the way. It's just something I came up with. While looking through the shit that's going on in Chicago, I'm saying, you know what? We just need better cops. And we need better lawyers, and we need better attorneys, and we need better prosecutors, and we need better mayors, but we need better cops too. If you're going to keep telling me the problem is we got a few bad apples, let's get rid of the apples and get better apples. And the only way I can be sure we're going to get better apples is if the apples get paid, if we pay more for the apples. You feel what I'm saying? Come on, man. We got to get out the mentality that we can get something for nothing. That we're going to get these very bright, intelligent, honest people, hardworking people, even people willing to work harder to make more money, who won't let anything mess up their paychecks by paying them based on performance. Let me see what my Meerkat people talking about. Rob, hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing, man? Eric Shane said they can hear fine. Yeah, but you know I'm not going through the mic for you guys. Can you hear fine, Rob? Rob on the YouTube side of the game. Is it okay on YouTube? Hope you can, man. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, anybody follow my logic? Because I got some cases I want to share with you today that supersede Laquan McDonald. They're not even based on Laquan McDonald. There are other things. There are other cases. It's sort of like Ferguson when all we focused on was Mike Brown. And all they had to do was show you some footage of him being in a store that we're not even sure that happened on the same damn day. You understand what I'm saying? Like people just believe the shit. But be that here nor there, you're doing the same thing. You're looking at Ferguson, you're looking at one incident, and you don't understand that this is a systematic problem. When the Department of Justice went into Ferguson and looked at Ferguson, they saw data that showed them disproportionately that Missouri police and all these jurisdictions were focused on this area and bleeding dry the residents. That on your way to work, you get pulled over by 10 different jurisdictions who all write you a ticket for the same thing, an out headlight or tail light. That the harassment was so deep and persistent that it represented violations of constitutional rights, of civil rights. Do you understand what I'm saying? The same thing is going to be found. Look. I bet you any amount of money. Well, you know what? Not going to bet you money. I'll bet you. I ain't going to wear no wig and no shit like that. Let's have a gentleman, ladies. Let's have an honorary bet. A bet. I'm so positive there's like almost anything I wouldn't do for this bet to wager against you guys. Anybody watching? I know the Department of Justice, if they look at this cleanly, they're going to find all types of violations in Chicago. Because, see, they announced today that's what they're doing. They're looking at Chicago now. And Rahm Emanuel was pushing back. Man, dude, we're going to get rid of you. You a ghost, Rahm. You're only in that position, Rahm, right now because you hear the Laquan McDonald tape. Now, I'm not saying this guy what's the council member, the district council member or whatever, alderman. I think his name is Jose, or I'm not saying he's any better than Rahm. I don't know. But I think his name is Garcia. I don't want to guess. There's a Latino gentleman that was running against Rahm who said if the Laquan McDonald tapes would have came out during the time just before the vote off, the runoff, the historic runoff, people don't understand how close it was for Rahm to be out. It was a historic runoff. Rahm only became mayor by the skin of his teeth. And if the challengers would have been able to use the Laquan McDonald tapes, the case, the cover-up, any of that against Rahm, he would have lost a lot of support in the black community, which is the only reason why Rahm Emanuel carried. And part of that is our fault because we had some type of affinity to Barack Obama, President Obama, which was able to be transferred to Rahm. Because Rahm is, or was, I don't know if he still is, but he was Obama's guy. You understand? So that's how Rahm was able to become mayor. I bet you anything, any amount of money. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Phone lines, I'm going to open up, but let me say this. Let me put this out here. I bet you any amount of money, unless the Department of Justice is in the can or going on pressure from, I don't know, maybe Obama himself, maybe cronies of the Democratic Party. But if they call a fair one, there was no way, folks, no way they won't find historic corruption in Chicago. You think Detroit is bad because, what is his name? I forget his name. Black dude that got text messages with his girl. You think that's bad. You wait till they find out. When you wait till they finish digging through the books on Chicago. Oh my God. You think it was bad. Barry smoked crack. You wait till they see the corruption. You wait till you see the corruption that's been going on in Chicago. That predates Rahm Emanuel. It's how business is done. All right, the number is, let me give you guys the number, man. I want you to call in. Let me know what you think. 323-870-4064. I need you to call in. I got a story of Ronald Johnson. This crappy dash cam footage that they're using for this young man. Garbage dash cam. You can't really see at all. But for some reason, Anita Alvarez, lead prosecutor, Cook County, says she can tell that the young man has a gun in his hand. I couldn't tell. No charges have been filed. This young man was shot in the back running. He did not shoot at officers. Mama want justice. They're suing Chicago now. That's public now. Have you seen it? Has anyone seen the footage of Ronald Johnson? Chicago's going down. It's flaming out. I'm telling you guys, it's flaming out. I'm looking at cases as far back as 2010. Cover-ups. I got a case I'm reading of a young man, Cook. I think his name Cross. If you're from Chicago, you know this case. Young man, Cross. They said this young man pulled a gun. They produced a weapon. Do you know that this weapon that they produced turns out to be a 20-year-old Beretta that was rusted, found in bushes that never fired? They said this young man pulled this gun on them. They planted that evidence, folks. Planted it. Robbers don't run around with antiques that don't fire, they can't fire, that are incapable of firing. They planted this gun on this young man. And what I'm saying, folks, is once you go down the road of we don't trust you, then all cases become suspect. Guys, I'm trying to tell you. I want you to go add John Cass, Chicago Tribune, what they call it, a contact reporter. Kwame Kilpatrick is his name. Kwame Kilpatrick. And I'm not carrying water for Kwame Kilpatrick. You know, I don't know. I mean, it looks like he did some dirty stuff, right? Right? Looks like he did some dirty stuff. But what I'm telling you is what you're about to find out up in Chicago is gonna eclipse that. You will no longer even think about Kwame Kilpatrick. When you look at the police force in Chicago, you're gonna be like, okay, that's what corruption looks like. When you open a dictionary for corrupt cop force, police force, you're gonna see the Chicago Police Department. And I'm not saying it's every member of the Chicago Police Department. What I'm saying is a culture of corruption from the top to the bottom that permeates the organization. They sat on Laquan McDonald for 400 days before they brought a charge. Are we just like, are we going to ignore that like that didn't happen? Like, is that just, are we going to still blame this one guy? We're going to allow Rahm Emanuel to blame one guy for this? We're going to allow him to, to blame. First, they wanted to just blame Van Dyke, which is the shooter, the cop. He was trained somewhere. Come on, guys. He was trained somewhere. He had 17 reports against him and no action whatsoever taken. This predates McCarthy. He been there for almost 20 years, right? But we make McCarthy fall on the sword? And I'm not saying McCarthy, the superintendent, the chief of police, former. I'm not saying he's not guilty, that he's not culpable. But what I'm saying, guys, he can't take the bullet for all of this mess. It predates him. All right, I'll stop talking. You guys know better. No one wants to call him. You guys know better. I want to hear what people think. You know what? I would love to hear somebody disagree with me. I would love to hear someone disagree with me about Chicago. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me. I know I'm preaching to the choir. Everybody's sick and tired of anybody who knows anything about these cases is probably just standing over a barf bag. I understand. I would love it. I'm not going to probably get any pushback on it, but what I'm saying, folks, I got so much data here. I don't want to bore the hell out of you. I got all these documents. And more over here. See? All this research on Chicago for years. The case that's come to light now, that's 1.5 years old. It's over a year old. The case we're looking at now that's causing all the drama. That's an old case. It's a cold damn case. They saw that film that day after it happened, they looked at the film. The day after it happened, Anita Alvarez, she looked at the film and didn't bring charges. And said, I didn't bring charges because I'm waiting on the mayor's office to give me the go-ahead. We didn't release the footage because we thought it may inflame the community. Yeah, you know what inflames the community? Lying-ass cops. People getting shot in the back who are unarmed. Yeah, that inflames people. No. You shouldn't do that. Don't tell me you don't want me. It's like, Chicago's like it's like a cheating scumbag spouse, right? Just cheating on you, screwing everybody. And when you finally catch them, you say, why weren't you just honest with me? Why didn't you just tell me? And they say, I did that for you, baby. I didn't want to hurt you. And that's when you start putting stuff in their food if you don't leave right away. You got to leave right away when you find that out. You got to leave right away because that's the most condescending bullshit on the planet. As if you couldn't find somebody else who wants your ass. Like you couldn't get over this breakup that's going to happen. Like they didn't give you the opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? That's Chicago. All right, Kim. Had to get my analogy out there so people know what I'm talking about. How you doing, lady?
How's the gang?
Man, I'm doing good now. I feel like I'm bouncing back from yesterday. What's up with you?
Well, I was thinking real deep as you were talking, and one of the biggest problems is each state, they get to run their little towns and townships the way they want. Mm-hmm. So it's like a government within a government within a government, and right. They just have, that's their system. It has roots to it. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with it. They need to have the police system on a federal level where it's disbanded throughout the United States, not in these variations and different laws and everything, because it just seems like people interpret it and police it the way they want. It don't even, being a police now is like, it's an embarrassment. It don't even hold any honor anymore. It's like, oh, you with the police? You know, oh yeah, this town, they got some pretty decent pigs. This town, you know, it's like different steps. You got your elite all the way down to your scum in the police force. It ain't even honor to be police. It's just a game.
Right.
So everybody's just doing whatever they want to do, however the roots are set in their states and their townships and all those places. And Chicago happened to be one of the biggest cities and be one of the oldest. So yeah, it would have some deep roots. And it just seemed like the walls are gonna crumble on this one.
Right.
It's gonna crumble on so many levels. I just see everybody throwing money at everybody. That's all I can see, back and forth.
What do you think of my idea, man, where we start paying good officers more money? I mean, I don't mean like $10,000 more. I mean like $50,000 more, like starting good officers off with a higher salary.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It would be like an honor to even be in that force. Yes.
Right.
You know, and you ain't gonna make it easy to start out at that amount. Oh, you have to. You got to be top notch. You know, you got to have your head screwed on right.
Right.
That would be an honor. So that would have to be like statewide. Then that gets on a federal level. Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Totally. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm just trying to think of solutions. I mean, I don't know, you know, possibility of implementing it, but I mean, we got to do something other than what we're doing. I mean, we're not getting the best and brightest.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously, I mean, honestly, we're not getting the best and
common sense. Big time.
You know, and we're getting scumbags, man. Did you get a chance to see my video of Prince George's County where the cop puts the gun to the guy's head?
No, I did not get to see it yet.
When you get a chance, watch that video, and you will see what I'm talking about. When you listen to the way this officer talks, like, yo, son, you better not look at me, son. I'll blow you away, son. I mean, he sound like 50 Cent. And that ain't even really how 50 Cent sound. 50 Cent sound like that when he rapping. He doesn't sound like that in interviews. Mm-hmm. That's how this guy sounds. And he knew he was being recorded, baby. It's not like it was a secret camera. The guy had the phone like this pointed at her. I'm telling you, it's...
Wow.
I'm thinking we need we need a better criteria, a higher grade of police officer.
Yeah. When they on that kind of level, wow.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Doesn't hold any honor anymore. They're not peace officers. They're a gang.
We gotta get rid of the bad.
To be able to get you locked up.
Yep.
And get away with killing you.
Yep.
Get away with a lot.
That's it, babe. We got to get rid of the bad, I think. We got to get rid of the bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure do.
Hey Kim,
and have less of them.
yeah, less of them, less cops, better cops who are held to a higher standard. And my other idea, Kim, was that we can give them bonuses based on performance.
Oh yeah, correct.
You know what I'm saying? Stop going by this honor system. That shit don't work, man. Forget an honor system. People's pay should commensurate with their performance level, just like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Guy gets great reports from civilians. He gets bonuses, not just pats on the back.
Yeah.
Fuck your watch. Pay him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck a plaque. Pay the guy so he can go buy a boat. Pay the guy so he can take a trip to Italy. Pay the guy. I mean, come on now. Money's a motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, that will cut a lot of that shit out.
Yeah, it'll cut it out, and it'll get rid of scumbags, and then more cops will come forward about scumbag cops because you know what? Now you really messing up my money. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
When I seen that little segment a few years ago about how corrupt the police force was down in New Orleans, and you know they were making like $13,000 a year. I'm like, what?
Right.
Some of the lowest paid.
Right.
I'm like $13,000. And was really highly corrupt. You know, that ain't no money.
Right. I want somebody do me a favor in the chat room and look up what's the average pay of a police officer. Just average pay in a couple major cities. I just want something to quote that we have that's factual. But yeah, you're right, Kim. The cops are grossly underpaid. I mean, to me, cops get paid just a little bit more than teachers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is true.
All right, lady. I thank you so much for your call. Thank you, babe.
All right. You're welcome.
All right, now. Hey, y'all, give it up for Kim, man. Give it up for her, man. I'm pumped up now, guys. I'm pumped up, man. See how I get when people agree with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm pumped up now. Let me see, man. Trying to check my people in Meerkat. Because sometimes I'm not paying attention. Now I'm paying attention. Didn't we change our model for teachers? Where now we are paying teachers based on performance, based on the performance level of the students. We're making the teachers be more tied to how well they teach the students. Now sometimes that sucks because hell, you get a child, you don't know where the child's been, you don't know what level they were reading on or performing on, you don't know their home environment. I mean, that's a much more difficult, I would think, situation than a cop would be in. Because, you know, a teacher, how a child does on a test, right, that's kind of tough to tie that totally to the teacher. You know, child might not study, child might not live in an environment that's conducive to studying and learning. But we still do it, right? We still hold teachers' salaries somewhat accountable based on or in line with how their students do, right? Isn't that what the push was a couple years ago, maybe 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken? All I'm saying is we do the same thing with cops. Come on, man. You hit somebody in the head, you lose $10,000 a year. Hey, come on. If we just can't get rid of all of them, fine. You get a complaint, we deducting money from you. Somebody call up, we take money. Somebody call up and give you that, we give you money. Somebody call up and complain, we take money. Come on, man, we got to do something. It's the damn police unions. But we can change that. Now, I feel like we already have the police state. Kim brought that up and she said, you know, she's going to get pushed back from that. And I understand why, because it's a scary thought, you know? These, you know, I get pictures of Nazi Germany in my head. The Gestapo. You know? I don't like that. Right? But we got to do something to get this under control, man. the story I'm looking at, and I don't want to read it, but I'll just tell you this. I'll just tell you just the highlights of the Cross video. The Cross story in Chicago, where this young man, on the night of May 31st, 2011, Cross returned home from her job at daycare center. Now, this is the mother. She gets a call that her son was being chased and shot at by police officers. Then suddenly, there's a gun. A non-working gun. Everyone attests, of course, that Cross didn't have a gun, that he never carried a gun. They never seen Cross with a gun. They wrote it up that way. Similar to the way they wrote up Laquan McDonald. Do you not know, in all of the transcripts, in the official filings for Laquan McDonald, they wrote that the young man lunged? Here's my thing, guys. If the prosecutor's office is not in on it, how can you lie on police reports? How can you lie on police reports if everybody ain't in on it? Come on, man. If there is film, no one looks at the film. When you shoot someone, when you discharge your weapon in the pursuit of executing your duties, no one looks at it. No one looks. How can you just lie and not get caught? There was dash cam footage. Okay, Cross's case, there was no dash cam footage. There was no body cameras. Okay, 2011, no body cameras. 2014, body cameras. Dash cams. Here's my question, guys. Help me out. Help me understand, guys. Meerkat, YouTube, Tim Black's Wolfpack. How can officers lie when there's dash cam footage and know that there's dash cam footage if the system is not corrupt? Come on, guys. It doesn't make sense to me. I gotta give myself an applause. I don't see how you could do it. Look, if I got a 6-year-old son. I love him very much. His name is Chase. If there's a camera in the room, and Chase knows there's a camera in the room, and he breaks a vase, he would have to have a lot of balls. A lot of balls to be 6 and to come to me and say, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it happened, Daddy. Right? He knows the camera in the room. He broke the vase. He know he broke the vase. It's on camera. Wouldn't it take a lot of balls? Right? So he would tell her, he would come tell me, Dad, I broke the vase. Because he know I'm going to find out, right? But the officers know that there are cameras in the car. Why are officers bold enough to lie about what happened? And not only the officers, their partners and other officers corroborate the lie when they know there's film. It's a scary thought, but you gotta look at it for what it is, folks. You know what I wish? I wish that there were people watching this, who are going to watch this, who are very in the tank, cop supporters, like always. It's that guy that's, hey, was it the benefit of the doubt? I give it to the officer. I want those guys, because I want those people to start questioning what they believe. I'm serious, man. I want you to start questioning, because look, it's just simple logic. If in the case of Walter Scott, where he was shot in the back 6 times, he didn't know there was footage. So we know why he lied. He shot the hell out of a guy's back, killed a guy, tried to plant evidence. We know why he lied. There was a guy in the bushes with a phone taking the footage, right? In Dyke's case, Van Dyke's case, he knew there was footage. He still lied. He had to not know there was footage. Everyone who was in on the lie had to know there wasn't footage, right? Come on, guys. They're all dirty. They all lie for one another. We gotta clean house. We got no choice. If you can't trust the wolf around the hens, you gotta get rid of the wolves, man. Am I saying something that people is controversial? They're lying. And unless you're going to say that lying is a problem or a disease that only people in Chicago catch, you have to be above the opinion that it's possible it could go on where you are. Right? Unless we're going to start saying it only happens to certain colors of people or certain regions of people or certain political backgrounds of people. And then we start getting into like bigoted shit, right? A lot of people do that, you know. They get on the internet and they say, well, these people do this. Well, it wouldn't be because they're poor. No, it's just because of color thing. Poor people don't do it. You sure it's not economics? No, it's color. Those people are called bigots. Because whenever you say this is endemic of just this group of people, then you become a bigot, right? So what I'm saying is, unless we're a bunch of bigots, we have to assume that what's going on in Chicago is possible. I'm not saying it's going on where you live, but it's possible, right? Because you have human beings in your police department, right? Who would like to keep their jobs, who are not above making mistakes. And if they can get away with it in Chicago, they could get... perish the thought, right? Come on, guys. Come on, man. And this is what everyone's been complaining about. This is why everybody's so pissed. Would you lie to protect your brother or sister? I think it's deeper than that, Rap. See, I would want to do the right thing. That's who I am. I don't want to paint myself as a saint. Of course I've made mistakes in my life. But my first instinct is to do the right thing. That's my first instinct. In fact, there have been times I wish I didn't have that instinct. You know, because, you know, you're like, damn, maybe I'm not smart enough to do the wrong thing sometimes. I know somebody else would do the wrong thing. I should have probably did the wrong thing, but nah, I got to sleep at night. I did the right thing. Shit. I know some other people like that, right? I'm not the only one like that, right? I remember one time I was in this men's store. Side story. Time out. I was in a men's store called Filene's Basement, Northwest Washington, D.C., about 15 years ago. I was doing some shopping for some clothes for work. I found a wallet, guys. The wallet was so heavy. It was just laying on the floor. I picked it up. It was heavy. It was like something was in it. I never opened it. I went over to the sales clerk and said, where's your security guard? They said, over there. I went over to the security guard. It was a woman. It was a black woman. I walked over to her. I said, ma'am, I just found a wallet. She looked at me like I had, you know, a leg growing out of the back of my neck. She could not believe I was giving her a wallet. I said, yeah, somebody dropped a wallet. I don't know who it is, but I want to turn it in. Later, I was like, damn, I should have opened it. I'm glad I didn't open it, because then I would have felt trepidation. I would have felt like, maybe, you know how people make up stuff for themselves? They're like, well, maybe God want me to have this wallet. Maybe God sent me this money. This is God's way of giving me the money. You know, so I'm glad I didn't open it, because I made it without it. I didn't need it. And now I can share that story with you, right? But I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm saying my first instinct is to do the right thing. So when I rap, yeah, I would want my brother and sister not to get in trouble for something they did. But more than I would want to cover for them, I would want them to do the right thing, which is not to do the shit to begin with. And then my brother and sister, if they are good people, they would not want me to lie for them to lose my credibility as a man, to cover for their screw up. See, that's how it's supposed to go. People that love you aren't supposed to want you to lie for them. They're supposed to go, no. I'm going to own up to what I did. You shouldn't be in that position. It's so toxic what's going on in these police forces. Not only do they put each other in that position, where they would allow a person to lose their credibility, to throw their ethics out the window, to damage their character, but they'll punish them with backlash for doing the right thing. So it's even worse than that, Rap. It's not just, well, I'm covering for my brother in arms because we risk lives for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's beyond that. It's like, not only I expect you to cover for me. If you don't cover for me, your life may be in jeopardy. You seen Serpico? You seen Serpico? Anybody? That's what happened, right? They put your life in jeopardy. So what we have here, man, is not just a situation where people are so closely connected. I've watched film. Watch it on YouTube. There are clips. There are confessions of officers who said they tried to do the right thing and they received punishment for doing the right thing. Because there are good cops. So I'm saying, once again, guys, my solution to it, pay cops more money. Let's double it. We can, you know what, if you're paying out these sums of money, dude, I just told you, $521 million was paid out by Chicago Police Department. That's a city. Wouldn't it have been better paying all their officers, all their quality officers, twice as much money and getting rid of the riffraff? And then providing bonuses for cops who didn't have complaints, who didn't have to shoot people, or something. Like something. I know there's more to it, right? I know I'm not thinking of everything, right? But you feel what I'm saying, guys? We gotta do something about it. Listen, I saw a post today, and I don't get a chance to respond to all comments in my comment section. I'll tell you this. I did a video of a man getting shot. Where was he at? Where was the guy? So it was a dude. They called him Hispanic. He looked like a white guy to me, but yeah. Whenever the news wants to, they make Hispanic guys white. Then other times they make them Hispanic or Latino. It don't matter. Notice I'll be black always. That's another topic. But this guy, he ran on, he tried to rob a bank. He tried to rob a Bank of America with a note. And then he got cold feet and he ran out. Okay, so they finally got to kill a guy. They shouldn't have killed him, in my opinion. He had a straight razor. He was thinking about killing himself, not killing them. Because he's 51, he'd been in and out of jail, and he was going to go back to jail for a long time. And I think he was debating, should I just kill myself? And they said, time's up. We made the decision for you. Bye. Time to go. So they killed him. And someone in my comment section said, why don't we hear about this in mainstream media? And I'm telling you guys, look, dude, I'm doing this because you won't hear about it in mainstream media. Give me credit and stop complaining about mainstream media. Stop watching that shit. But the real reason why I brought that up is the guy said how much they gonna pay his family. For the record, Chicago paid Laquan McDonald's family money, but Laquan's family never sued him. That's how it is in Chicago. They do so much crap that they say, let's go ahead and take the deal. Let's offer money early. Because we don't want to pay the full price. Let's see if we can get a sale. Let's pay wholesale price on this murder. Can we get a wholesale deal? Then they're going one time, go two down, go down, one to 4 times. Sold to Chicago Police Department. Sold to the city of Chicago for a discount price, $5 million. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Guys, Chicago police used to pay $5 million to family of teen shot 16 times. 16 times. I could go on and on about this, man. I could. I want to know what you guys think. Rue Dog. I got some calls. Let me take a call. I got a couple calls. Hey, you're live with Tim Black at night. Yeah, what's going on, Los?
What up, fam?
Man, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I seen the new case. Yeah, you posted on your page. It's crazy, man.
Yes, sir.
Like, I think what you said was a good idea about giving them bonuses and things of that nature, to reward, the good cops. But I think another thing they need to do is they need to start giving these cops so much time when they do all these crazy acts that the other cops will start to think about the things they do, because that's the problem. These cops are doing all these things, and then if they do get caught, they really don't get any time for it, so that there's really no consequences for the things that they do.
Damn right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, and I mean, what you said was a really good point, because that's one thing I've been saying for like the last year or two. The taxpayers are funding these lawsuits. When they have to pay these people $5 million, $1 million, $2 million, their money is coming out of your tax dollars. So we are literally paying for their mistakes.
Yep, exactly. And make no mistake about it, it's not a mistake when you pull a trigger and shoot somebody in the back 16 times. That's not a mistake, dude. When you shoot somebody on the ground,
no, it's not.
It's not a mistake. The mistake was you ever had a badge to begin with. That's the mistake.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Like I said, it got to make it more tough on these. Like, there's no, people should be talking about that. A lot of white people complain about, tax dollars going into, food stamps and all this other, public housing and all that, but nobody else is complaining about these tax dollars that's being spent on these cops murdering people.
Right.
And that's murdering black people, white people, whoever. It's not even about color. It's about these cops are murdering people. And yeah, they may get out of the jail time and all that, but money is still being paid for this stuff.
There you go.
They're getting out of the legal side of it, but out of the money side, no, they're still throwing millions of dollars at this stuff, and nobody's talking about that.
No one's talking about it. We're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going by cities. I mean, all cities. I mean, if you add up all the money that's paid out across the country, I know it has to go into the billions of dollars. It has to.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, a friend of mine, I actually got a friend that his baby mother's brother was killed by the police. The police officer slipped and fired his weapon at the guy, unarmed man, and killed him. I think I don't know the exact amount that they got, but I know they got an LP something. And I'm like, this stuff is normal, and a lot of it don't even, it's a lot of cases that we don't even know about.
Right.
Because I don't know if it was you or somebody else was talking about how people should be talking about the mother for the kid that got kicked in Chicago, because she took that money and didn't say anything or complain about her child being killed, which, from what I hear, she never took care of the kid anyway.
Right. Laquan McDonald. Right.
Yeah,
he was a ward of the state.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, come on now. I mean, that's what people should be complaining about that. You know what I mean? Because here it is. This woman just got $5 million for a child that she never raised, which it may be, it is her fault that he was in that position, because if she would have invested the time in him, he might have, great chances are he wouldn't have been out there like that.
It's possible.
Yeah, but very good chance he wouldn't have been out there like that. Yep. From my understanding, the kid was homeless. So here it is. You just got $5 million for your child that was homeless. I mean, it baffles me, man. But listen, that's like, they want to keep us on fighting. I got on World Star today, and I'm like, damn, another case? Like, it's just, and then you look at the date on it, you're like, damn, 2014, I didn't even know about this one. Here's another one.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know, man. If everybody worried about the wrong thing, they're not really focusing on the right things.
Right.
And that's why this stuff continues. Yeah, you got one side that say, oh, well, he was defending himself. And, then you got the other side that say, the opposite. So it's like everybody is arguing about the wrong things instead of focusing on what can we do to fix this.
Right.
Why are we spending so much money on the military, and then here it is, we got schools closing down in America.
Yes, we do. Right.
I mean,
right.
Yeah, nobody's talking about that, because this is a big reason why we may have a lot of the things going on in America. And I mean, these kids are not being educated. The time is not being invested. The money's not being invested in them. So, that's why a lot of this garbage is going on. But I feel like I think I said on a couple shows before, America profits off of you being dumb. They don't want a smart society because once we have a fully smart society and everybody's conscious of what's going on, they can't run their little game anymore. It's game over.
You're dropping that science, man. I appreciate you dropping that knowledge,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
No doubt.
I appreciate it, man.
No doubt.
Hey, thanks for getting me in, man. I guess just put me back on hold, man.
You got it, Los. Give it up for Los, y'all. I wanna hang tight with me, Rob. Let me bring up one point before y'all bring you in. Check this out. A lot of these cases that Los just brought up, and I just want to educate everybody because I've been looking into this. A lot of these cases are old. If you look at the dates, you'll see they're very old. The case I did today was back in May 2014. The information, the data, the dash cam footage and information details were not released until this week. Because this week, the officer was convicted. Okay? So it's almost a year and a half since the date when it actually occurred. Now, sometimes the city or municipality, whatever, will withhold the information. They won't let it be released, and then you got to fight to get it released. And you have to do a formal request using the FOI, Freedom of Information Act. And if they dispute that, then you have to go to court. And that's what happened with Laquan McDonald. A journalist filed an act. He had to file paperwork in order to get that released. And they pushed back. Okay? So that's the other thing about Chicago. Chicago pushed back on releasing. It wasn't just jump through this hoop to get this information. It was you jump through the hoop and it's like, no, we got to fight me in court to get this released. That's how hard they fought not for you to know what's going on in Chicago. All right? So just something that I've been picking up, something I've been looking into because I said, okay, I want to start getting information from court cases more than just being what's printed. I want to see it for myself. And sometimes you're going to have to file a writ with the court in order to get that information. All right. Rob, what's up, my friend? What up?
Hey, Tim, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just one of those tough stories.
It is. We've pounded it out there, Chad. I think it's just a flaw in the human condition as far as people letting other people get away with bad things. It's that way in the church system. Whenever they got one of those child predators or something, they push them around. They keep it quiet. They pay the families off. They don't do the right things, and that's what Raph was saying in chat there. It's dirty in the military. It's dirty in the church system. We were talking about Penn State. It was dirty there during the Jerry Sandusky. People knew what was going on, was keeping quiet over shit they should have said something about or took care of.
You're right.
I think it's part of the human condition.
You're right. You're absolutely right, man. And you know what? I didn't even think about it that far, That's a good point that you guys brought up. Damn good point. It is part of the human condition, Yeah.
It doesn't just apply to the police. I mean, it applies to the government big time because they're responsible for our money. We vote them in. We uphold them to a higher standard.
Right.
But, when you see it at the church levels, you see it at like with the football, the military, and everywhere there's a scandal, somebody could have stepped up and done the right thing. They didn't. And everybody kept their mouth shut, whether they had a video on them, didn't have a video on them. And what Carlos was talking when they're about keeping everybody stupid, well, he's right. It's a quota. The prison system is big money. It's big money to put people in prison. They get big federal dollars to do so. So the more they throw in there, the more money they get next year. The more cops they can hire, the more they can throw in there. We are one of those countries when you look at the numbers, there are so many people incarcerated that shouldn't be. It's ridiculous.
It's horrendous, man. And you're right. When you look at it that way, it's like, what do you do about the problem? How could you resolve it? What do you even, where would you even begin? I'm talking about compensation, but it's such a big system. It's like, what can you do?
You're right. They've created a monster they can't kill. And that's what they've done. They've created a monster in this Nazi-style police system out there that they cannot kill. And You know, it used to be, like I said, when we see these videos, it is shocking. But now it's becoming so normal. I mean, when the Rodney King video came out, I mean, this is back when it was just VHS.
Right.
When it was very little internet, there was no internet, you know?
Right.
It was really shocking. Well, what we've seen since Rodney King on video has been 10 times worse, no less shocking, but you see where it goes. It doesn't change anything. The system has not changed. Nobody's changing. It's just a matter of money, of payouts. It's not shocking. It's shocking, but it's not shocking anybody enough to do anything about it.
Right. You're absolutely right. And they keep us at each other's throats so that we don't focus on it. They keep us distracted and divided with all this BS. Like for instance, Rob, I don't know if you saw the video I did about the man who tried to rob the Bank of America with the note. You know, they're using his past.
Right before you put it out there, I did see that.
Yeah, they're using his past, Rob. Like the fact that he was a felon, everyone's using that to justify the fact that they shot this guy twice in the chest for having a straight razor. He just came out of a barbershop with a straight razor. He didn't move towards anyone, and one officer hit him with a taser. Did you see that the one officer shoots him with a taser?
At the same time, yeah.
And somebody else
fired a gun.
There you go.
Bang bang. They didn't even get the taser time to work.
Didn't get it paid. So you know they're gonna have to pay the family. They're gonna have to pay. It's pointless.
I don't know. I think the difference. They're going to say the difference in that one and the Laquan McDonald is that officer didn't fire an extra 14 rounds into him. Even though dead is dead and wrong is wrong,
right.
It was the gross overkill on Laquan McDonald.
Okay.
That was the big, craziness of it. They're going to say, well, this guy was aggressive with a blade, and so wasn't Laquan McDonald had a knife too. Well, this guy did get shot an additional 14 times on the ground.
That's true.
That's
true.
That's the big difference. That cop stopped at 2 shots or 1 shot, but the other guy, he reloaded a magazine or flopped another magazine and kept on going until somebody else had to yell stop.
God damn. That's going to be an extreme case. I hope that's not the benchmark that we're going to have to need cops to get to for us to say that it was an illegal shoot. You know what I mean? Because that's.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know if we can ever go past that. You know what I mean? You what you gonna have to do next? Pull out a rocket launcher? You know what I'm saying?
But you start arguing tit for tat, and somebody's going to bring up the fact that he wasn't shot 14 more times.
God damn. You're right. It's crazy.
And they're going to say that he had that tattoo on his neck, that DWB, which is a skinhead organization for dirty white boys. Like he deserved it.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I've read that somewhere where the DWB tattoo stood for the skinhead organization.
Yeah.
So, You're like I said, everybody's going to have semantics thrown into it, but that man could have lived that day. Laquan should have lived that day.
Right.
In London, they show how their police run into the same type of scenarios, guys with knives, and how they can corner and assess and attack and calm down the situation. And everybody lives that day. The guy goes to jail. Nobody has to die.
But my understanding is that the European officers get paid a lot more money and they have a lot more training.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker. They get trained better and they do get paid better money. And you're right, you get what you pay for out there. And I've argued that till the day I die. You get what you pay out there.
Yep.
And if you're getting low-paid guys in there, you're getting low-paid thinkers, you're getting low-paid skilled people in those positions.
That's how it goes with everything else. How could
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. I mean, hell, you can't expect a $10,000 car to. Yeah, all right, Captain. Hey, thanks, Rob, for the call, man.
Hey, I'm sorry about there's always a little bit of a delay between my voice and your voice. So if I'm interrupting, it's my fault.
Oh no, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Give it up for Rob, y'all.
Right,
all right, now, give it up for Rob, y'all. Yeah, it's all good, man. Yeah. I got a slow connection. I need to put some caffeine in my connection. I don't know, guys. When I'm looking at Chicago, every time I look at it, guys, it just boils my blood. It's not just Chicago, I know, but that's what's on the hot seat right now is Chicago. Department of Justice looking at it. Like I said, I wager a gentleman's bet, whatever, right? A bet of character, ethics, something, right? You got to do 20 push-ups with one hand. I don't know, something, right? But look, I'm telling you, I'm sure, I'm 99.9% sure that Department of Justice will come back with gross negligence, gross violations of civil rights on behalf of the Chicago Police Department. It's inevitable. And you know what? I think pretty much any police force that the Department of Justice, it's sort of like those health inspectors when they come around, you know? I look at the Department of Justice being a health inspector. In police departments, no matter how great you think they are, they're all just carryouts. All right? They're just carryouts, guys. They got roaches. Some of them have mice. Some got termites. Some employees don't wash their hands. Every once in a while, you have an employee that rubs one out in the pan. Employees, I mean, you know, come on. Some of them got rats. Some of them don't, you know, clean up like that. I mean, come on, man. Come on. And that's why it kills me whenever I'm hearing what I would hope, I would wish were reasonably intelligent people make a bunch of excuses. And I think what it is to accept that some policemen are as bad as some MVA workers or salespeople at your counter at your local store. To accept that some of those people are just as bad as any other profession at doing their job, you know, that you're gonna like, you know, it would hurt their hearts. Like, oh no, he's not like Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Yeah, he's not like that. These guys are all different. You might have some Bruce Willis Die Hard type cops. And you know what? I know there are. I've covered stories. I covered a story where a cop chased a guy who freaked out on his girlfriend who was cheating with his best friend, and he lost his mind and he shot both of them. And they chased this guy over 3 states, over 3 state lines. And when the cop kind of cornered him, it was just one officer and the young guy. And the guy's running at him. The guy has a knife or something. And he's begging the officer to shoot him. He's saying, shoot me, please shoot me. And the officer's like, just drop it. And the officer's backing up and just keeps backing up. You don't want me to kill you. Back up, just stop. And the officer's backing up so much, the officer falls on the ground, but he still has his guy in his, still has the guy in his crosshairs. And finally, the young man who was chasing after the cop, he just lays down, face down on the pavement and throws the knife. So I know there are officers who do that. There are officers who put themselves in harm's way. I saw it. I covered the story. I said, this guy deserves love, our appreciation. He could have killed this kid. He would have been within his rights. You know, turns out this officer was he was a veteran. He served in Afghanistan. He'd seen combat. He said, when they asked him, why didn't he shoot the guy was charging him. The guy had a weapon. He said, I promised myself I wouldn't kill anybody unless I absolutely had to. And I felt like I didn't have to. So I didn't. He'd been under fire before. He'd been in military situations, and he just felt like he didn't have to do it. So what I'm saying is, there are officers who deserve more money. And I'm not saying money is everything, but damn it, hell, if someone's gonna get the money, or you're gonna be paying it to families, and let's face it, guys, some of these families didn't earn the money. You didn't earn money because your child got killed. They're paying you money because they can't bring your child back. But an officer who does his job at a high level should be paid for it. You want to get paid for what you do. And I'm saying, even if officers, you know what, I'll leave it to the officer to turn down the money. I'll offer you the money. Don't give me that crap about the officers above getting money. But if you say that's true, they can turn it down if they want. They can donate it to charity. It's their money to donate, all right? I think it's a damn good idea, man. I do. I think it's a damn good idea. We get what we pay for. I was about to say it, Rob was talking, and then he went on his thing. Look, you can't expect a $20,000 car to run like a $70,000 car, right? You wouldn't never expect that. Paying officers $25,000 and paying free bank manager $250,000. But putting them in situations, I'm just saying, I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying is, how about we pay more for what we want, which is the best service possible? And admittedly, it's not the most dangerous job, but out of top 10, out of top 20, there's like 12. All right? Let's pay them more. Stop complaining about it. Let's do something about it. What suggestions y'all got? Just hope. Let's just hope that we get better ones from now on. Let's hope. I'm saying, let's pay. I know, it's like, what are we going to do, right? We want to start a campaign to pay officers more money? Maybe we should. I got big dreams. I guess I'm unrealistic, but I'm thinking we could do that. You know what? If anybody thinks I got a good idea, and you feel me on this, let's come up with a hashtag, man. Hashtag. Come on, guys. Hey, guys, help me out. Do we got a hashtag we can do for officers? My idea, if you think I got a good idea, that we compensate officers more money, we pay officers more based on performance, and we just pay officers more money to begin with. But we hire better officers, and we pay them more. We train them longer, we pay them more. And we fire them quicker. We fire the garbage quick. We get rid of them. We get rid of the police union. Get that shit out of here. And we pay them more. And like I said, I'm not talking about 10 grand more. I'm talking about we double their salaries. You want better teachers, you pay for them. You want better cops, you pay for them. I know I used to have one officer who watched my show. I know he wouldn't have a problem with that. He liked that idea. I think he's a family man. His kids. I think he would like getting paid a little bit more. That's all. We need a hashtag, guys. All right. Black said link their pay to their dash cam footage. If they turn in 80 hours, they get paid for 80 hours and so on. Damn, man. Come on, man. Don't assume the worst. Look, I'm going to pay you based on dash cam footage. The more time you turn in, the more you get paid. Nah, man. No. But you know what, though? I'm not against the idea that somehow we got to have an evaluation process, right? Like, forget, you know what? There's no privacy. There should be no privacy for cops when they're on a job. When you go home, you're on your own time. But when you are wearing uniform, right, no privacy. Your cam got to work or you can't get paid. You're off the clock. You're not paid. How about that? And then you pay them such a good wage that anybody who would dare come into your precinct and screw up and mess up the money. Cause like football, look, I'm going further down the bunny hole. Look it up, check it out. In football, when you make it to the playoffs, you get paid a bonus. So let's have like police get bonuses, not just as individuals, but as an organization, as a precinct, as a department. That way, that gives an incentive to get rid of bad apples, directly affects the pay and the bonus of the organization, not just the captain, everybody's bonus. Huh? Come on, guys, what? Look, at least I have ideas more than just, I hope everything's going to work out. Or, I hate cops, kill them all. Come on, we got to find we got to do something that works. We got to have some ideas. We got all these damn politicians running. None of them have ideas for this shit. What's their ideas? What was Hillary's idea about doing something about this issue that a lot of people are concerned with. A lot of her voters are concerned with. What's her solution? What's her suggestion? Oh, we just need to do a really better job with it. And what's that? What's Trump's idea? What's Trump's idea about cops and how do we deal with this issue? What's Bernie Sanders' idea? You have people, and then you take the people and we do the thing. It's not socialism. It is taking care of one another. I say we give the police officers more money, an incentive to do better. That's what we do. And then we give me some Geritol and we give me Vitalis. I take a pill and I feel verklempt. I'm joking. But I'm saying, what are the ideas? What are your politicians' suggestions for dealing with this issue? I have yet to hear anything from any politician other than just very vague talk. And if you think my ideas suck, that's fine. At least I got some. I'm not a politician. What does your politician say we should do about this shit? What does Rahm Emanuel say he's going to do about Chicago? Nothing. Not let you know about what's going on. Hide it. The solution is the solution is pay off the people and try to keep it out of the papers. That's their solution, guys, frankly. The solution is pay off people and keep it quiet. And then if someone finds out and it goes bad, make people under you take the heat. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into the show tonight. Let me give some shout-outs. Let me shout out my people on Meerkat. GS Tong. GS Tong 28. Thank you for being here. Landing Point. Thank you for being here and restreaming. Rude Dog 22. Good to see you, Rude Dog. Thanks for being here. It's going great. Eric Shane 45. Thank you for being here. Laura, thank you for being here. Of course, Rob, thank you for being here. Thank you, Meerkat people, for being here on time, on deck, I should say. Thank you once again to my Wolfpack for being here tonight. It wasn't a sexy story, but damn it, guys, I'm saying we really got to think about this because I don't believe, look, I'm not a bigot. Don't you be a bigot. Don't think, if you think only Chicago has a problem, if you think only Chicago's doing something, you must be a bigot. Because you must think this is something that only affects people from the Midwest. Like it could never happen in the East Coast. Or that it could never happen out on the West Coast. Come on, guys. Corruption can happen anywhere. And it's a little naive to think other people wouldn't cover for other people under similar circumstances. That's all. If one person could do it, others could do it. What are the check and balances? Rob is enough to make me just really feel depressed about the whole thing. Rob's like, well, human nature is like, oh, shit, Rob. Yeah, human nature is people going to do to get away with shit. And then, damn, Rob, come on, Rob. Rob's a downer, man. Like we got no hope. No, Tim, Rob's a realist. You're an optimist. Rob's a realist. Rob's a pessimist. Come on, man. I know it's the human nature for people to try to get away with crap. But if we put incentives in, that's why you have to provide incentives. It's not about morality, it's all about your salary. And if we provide incentives, monetary incentives, for officers to do the right thing, forget the right thing, make them do the money thing. Right? And you're going to say, oh, no, officers should do this and that for... Yes, that's fine. I think every officer would like to spend more time with his family, be able to take his family on nicer places, be able to buy a better home, be able to provide better for college or whatever. Whatever it is. Buy better whiskey. There's a lot of cops drink. All right? Buy better weed. Buy better hookers. Like that one jughead Down syndrome dude that raped all those black women, 13 of them at last count. He could have bought hookers instead of raping them if he had better money. I know what I'm talking about. I just pissed some people off, but I don't care. I'm gonna cover that case and do another video. I did a video on it before. I've done 2 videos on it. I'm gonna do another video on this guy. Now this is going on trial. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking about. This is this cop who, somewhere in the Midwest, where he was a big football star in this small town, became a cop, and it's like raping women. It's like last count, it was like 13 women, and now they're putting the women on trial. And people say, well, Tim, why did all these women come forward on Bill Cosby? And I'm looking at this case. This guy raped 13 women. Definitely. Well, I believe he did it. But now they're putting all the women on trial, not him. All these women have to prove that they didn't, do consensual sex with the cop. All of them couldn't keep their hands off this cop. This cop is just fantastic. I don't know why I compared that to Bill Cosby, because they really have no connection, but, I was looking for an anchor for the joke. But it's not really funny. You guys get what I'm saying? See, at the end of the shows is usually the best part of the shows. That's where I go in. I just throw it against the wall, see what sticks. We can say anything because we're on the internet. No one can censor us. It's so like Russell Simmons, All Deaf Digital, wants to have a political side of this show. And they got this guy that's nowhere near as good as me on this show. But you know what I thought about it? I'm saying I'm not salty about it because I don't want to work for anybody. But we could do a partnership, Russell Simmons. Thank you very much. Good night. Thanks for coming out. That's what he used to say on all his shows. What else? That's what I got, guys. That's where I'm at. I don't want to just bash cops. I want to say we got a solution. We're going to pay them. And you know what? I bet you cops would like this shit I'm talking about. You know what? I need some cops. I need some cops to weigh in, and I need a hashtag for this. And tomorrow, I'm going to have a hashtag for it. All right? I'm going to have a hashtag for this. The good cops are going to want this. You never know. This could pick up some steam. Pay cops more money. Who wants less money? Everybody wants more money. Come on. Right time of year, too? You talking it around Christmas? Oh, it'll take years for it to work out, but come on. Pay the guys. How is a cop going to make less than an accountant? And I know you're going to say, well, Tim, it's all about the market and what it'll bear. But why is it that it bears that? Why is it that the people applying are willing to apply at such a low wage? Yeah. All right, I'm out. Thank you for being here, 1 Hour Rap. Thank you for being here, Joseph Labonte. Thank you for being here, Black Said What? What'd you say, Black? What'd you say? Black Said What? Eye of Horus. I don't know. What's tomorrow's said topic? I don't know, man. What's up, Neil? I don't know. Hit me up on Facebook with a topic, guys. It won't be this, but I was moved to do this topic. It won't be this topic. It'll be something else, of course. Hit me up on Facebook on the Speak On It group, or hit me up on Twitter, or hit me up on Instagram. I got a new Instagram. It's called Tim Black at Night. Tim Black at Night. If you have Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Tim Black at Night. Did I miss anybody? Real Rock 585. That's new. All right, guys. Let's play some music and get up out of here. Brooklyn, man. All right, Brooklyn. My man Warren Lee. All right, fam. Good night, Laura. I love you. Don't forget to call me. I'm joking. Laura's man, I'm joking. I don't have a number. This is jokes. These are jokes. I'm out of here. Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. All right now. All right, Meerkat, y'all be safe, man. Stay away from bad cops. And if you got a good cop in your life, hug them, because they're an endangered species, it looks like, if you listen to the media. Peace. All right, guys, I'm out of here, man. Thank y'all for being here, man. I know it's a Monday. Let's shake the cobwebs out. It's tough. Deuces.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Bye, baby. Bye, baby. That's it.